Okay, so now I've done number 9, use the quick edit and split screen already. I went up into the H1 tag, hit Control E. It gives me 2 different choices on my H1. Oh, let me bring this back up. Whoops. Sorry about that. There we go. 2 different choices in this H1. So I need to go to the one that actually makes it select over in my live preview. Yours might only have one option for book.css, and that's fine. I'm going to change this back to navy, and it works just fine. Honestly, I don't use that Control E. I would rather go back and forth to the CSS itself, unless I get to a complicated page with a lot of CSS on it. But this is a fine example of when you could use it. Number 10, use the view vertical split command to split the screen. View vertical split command to split the screen, and CSS. I can move this book.css down here to right. I was working over here in these working files, and that opened it up. So I have on the left my HTML and on the right my CSS. That's a fairly common way to handle it, to have my live preview over on the left and my HTML and then my CSS kind of going toward the right of the page. And let's see. Okay, number 11, change the float property for the image element from left to right. The float property for the image, so that's the image, the float property, change it from left to right. And notice that the image is over on the right instead of on the left. And then in number 12, use the view no split command. I can go up to view and no split, or I could do the same thing using this little button here that is just a little shortcut. So I can go to no split there. And then continue on with number 13. I need to add the Emmet extension to brackets. Now I already have it, but you'll need to get that. So on page 83, click the Extension Manager icon at the right side of the window, or choose File Extension Manager. I just go to File Extension Manager, type in Emmet, E-M-M-E-T, and find Emmet. And yours should have a little install button. Mine, like I said, is already installed, so I can't install that. And then I'll show you what benefit that provides you. That was on page 63, by the way. Number 14 now uses the Emmet extension. So go ahead and pause me while you get that if you need to, and we'll get back to number 14. Use the File New command or Control N to start a new file. Go to File, Save As, and we're going to save this as, let's see, in Book Apps, Chapter 2, we need to call it testpage.html. So make sure that you're adding it into Chapter 2, and make sure that it has a .html at the end of it, testpage.html. And save. So now I should see up at the top, Chapter 2 and testpage.html. My live preview isn't showing anything because my page doesn't have anything in it. And now if I type in an exclamation point and a tab, it will fill in the basics of an HTML file. So you don't have to remember that. This is a nice way to add in a new file, a new HTML file. But it won't work unless you follow the instructions. You have to create a new file, save it with a .html name, and then type the exclamation point and hit tab. In number 15, select the book.css file. Save this file with the name in the same folder. So now I'm going to rename it testpage.css. That's how easy it is. I just hovered over it, right-clicked, go down to rename, and then start typing testpage.css and enter. Then save this file. Let's see. Delete the style rules after the body and H1 rules. Okay, so I want to leave in the body and H1, but I don't want those style rules. And save the file, so hit Control S. Then in the test page.html, come back here, change the content for the title element to test page, and add an H1 inside the body. H1 inside the body that says test page. Well, I see the test page is there. It's not, it doesn't have any CSS applied to it at this point, except what just by default comes with using an H1. So I need to make sure that I link back to that CSS page. So, oh, maybe that's all I wanted to do with that. Oh no, there it is. So number 17, if I come back to this JavaScript jQuery page, I can see that there's a link tag up here. This link tag I need, or something similar to it. So I'm going to copy that, Control C, go back to my test page HTML, add in a link, but now I need to rename this book because I don't have book anymore. It's now testpage.css, and see it has it shows that that CSS is on it. Okay, and that was it for number 18. Number 19 is just experiment more if you'd like. Number 20, use the file close all commands. File close all command. And now if there's anything that I haven't saved, it will bring up a question asking me if I want to, confirming that I want to save, make any changes. And then finally I can close brackets and I can close my Chrome window. And that's all there is to it. So that was a quick little intro to brackets, and I'll save this so we can get working on the rest of